Welcome to the Economic Empowerment Podcast, where we break down the pathways to financial growth, investment opportunities, and building generational wealth. I'm your host, Ramel Lee, and I'm thrilled to take you on this journey beyond business into a world of possibilities that many don't have the access to see. Each episode, we deep dive into topics like alternative investments, real estate, hotel ownership, and much more, bringing you expert insights, inspirational stories, and actionable advice to help you take control of your financial future. Whether you're an experienced investor or just starting to explore new opportunities, this podcast is here to empower you with knowledge and tools to make informed decisions. But before we get started, I want to remind you, this podcast is for informational purposes only. The content discussed here is not financial advice. Every investment decision carries risk, and it's crucial to do your own research and consult with your personal financial advisor before taking action. Now, let's dive in and explore the exciting world of economic empowerment. All right. Welcome, Davonne. Thanks for joining us here. So we're going to jump right into this now. Can you give us a little information on your background in hotel investing and crowdfunding?
Sure, absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Ramel, for having me on your podcast. Is this the first one?
Yes, this is you're my first guest.
I'm excited. So it's a pleasure to be your first guest on your first podcast. So congratulations. Woohoo! So my name, for those who don't know who I am, my name is Davonne Reaves. I am the president and founder of the Davonne Group, which is a consulting firm for hotels, as well as the CEO and founder of Vesterr, which is a crowdfunding platform for commercial real estate, where we raise capital, or you can invest in commercial real estate, including hotels, and a co-owner of 3 hotels across 2 different states, 2 Hilton brands and an IHG brand. So you have a Home2 Suites in Arena, Oklahoma. Then you have a Staybridge Suites in Indianapolis Fishers, and Hampton Inn and Suites in Scottsburg, Indiana. And I'm a mom of a 5-year-old. So I'm a serial entrepreneur who started off on this crazy journey in hospitality working as a front desk agent.
That's great. I mean, your story is awesome and inspiring. Definitely drew me in personally.
Yeah.
Became one of your students, and started me on my own hotel journey. So what inspired you to create Vesterr?
Actually, when I was raising capital for my first hotel, the one in Oklahoma, it was challenging to market. And I was like, okay, is there a way that we can raise capital for this deal or for other projects? And I started looking for commercial real estate. There were sites like crowdfunding, I think like CrowdStreet. And at the time, you had to be an accredited investor. You have to have a real estate portfolio of like 100 million or something. I was like, well, I don't have that. And for those who don't know what an accredited investor is, that's someone who has who make over 200,000 a year annual income, or have a net worth of $1 million or more. So my net worth wasn't just quite there. I had real estate properties, but not enough to meet the $100 million, and because they wanted basically seasoned folks on their platform, which I understand. And then I found some other crowdfunding platforms or portals, and the experience wasn't the best. And so once I found that I can create my own, and I was like, well, let me try it. I put a pause on it. And like a couple of years later, it circled back, and folks who helped build the technology had a similar idea, but it wasn't my idea per se. We didn't have the same idea per se when it came to crowdfunding, but it was similar to help Black folks or more people of color getting to commercial real estate, specifically hotels.
I mean, that's great. I'm a big proponent of cooperative economics, and crowdfunding is definitely a infrastructure that can help propel that. But for those who are unfamiliar with crowdfunding, and especially in the context of hotel investments, can you explain how that works?
Yeah, so with crowdfunding, Basically what it is folks coming together and investing. So probably the best way or simplest way to explain it, pretty much everyone has heard of GoFundMe, right? GoFundMe is a type of crowdfunding, but it is a donation-based crowdfunding. So when you invest in GoFundMe, you're not expecting to get a return. You're not expecting to get your money back. You're just hoping it's going towards a worthy cause. And so there are about 4 different types of crowdfunding. There's donation-based, like I just mentioned. There's rewards-based, where if you contribute, you'll get some type of reward, whatever that may be, a t-shirt or something. There's also debt crowdfunding, where you can, basically raise capital to become a bank, essentially. And then you have equity crowdfunding, which what Vesterr focuses on, where you raise capital or invest. So people would invest in exchange for some type of return. So not necessarily, they're not donating, they're investing to get some type of return on their money.
And what would you say are the key benefits to crowdfunding for hotel investment?
The key benefits is more of a marketplace to find deals. Another reason you asked earlier, why I created Vesterr, because, after my first deal, people got asking, oh, okay, well, where do I go to invest? And I didn't really have a place to send them. And after the Indiana deals, okay, where do I go to invest in more? And I didn't have a place to send them, right? And so with Vesterr, it's more of a marketplace where folks can invest. They can look for deals, they can do their due diligence, because a lot of times, if you don't know a hotel owner, you don't know, or in a hotel investor, you don't know where to invest in a deal, right? If you're not in the spaces, you wouldn't know where to go. Another benefit of investing in crowdfunding through hotels is you're investing directly into the asset. And so, which is different from investing in a REIT. REIT stands for Real Estate Investment Trust. And so, or a portfolio, you're investing, or stocks, you're investing directly into the asset. So typically higher return. It helps from a tax benefit perspective. You're working directly with the owner as opposed to REIT. You just working with the investor relations. You're not investing directly into the asset class. You're just investing into a portfolio. So those are some of the benefits of investing in a crowdfunding. Another, especially with crowdfunding, we're regulated. So a member of FINRA, which stands for the Financial Industry Regulatory Authority, also regulated by the SEC. So we have to go through a lot of compliance. It's not just a website. You're investing your money in an escrow account, as opposed to, you may be investing with someone, you don't really know who they are, and you give them their account. It's not escrow. And, you're like, I hope I get my money back if the deal doesn't go through. And so with crowdfunding, it goes through escrow, a lot of compliance, a lot of regulations. So just more, again, you still have to do your due diligence, but it's still here to protect the investors.
Yeah, that's very important too, because I know some people are interested in investing in commercial real estate and hotels, but they don't exactly know where to find the deals. And Vesterr provides a platform for them to find the deals. How would you say Vesterr goes about, vetting the deals that comes onto their platform?
So we don't accept every deal. So I do have one-on-ones with the folks, now since we're smaller. So just able to ask a lot of questions, see where they are in the process. So in order for you to get on Vesterr, your deal has to be under contract. So that's like, you can't get around that. Because we don't want to raise capital for a deal that you're not even under contract. And so what does that mean? Or have control. So we would need to see a purchase sale agreement, which is a PSA, or we would need to, or you have to own land. You have to own something so that it's secured, because I would hate for an investor to invest in a deal and not only did you not close, but you didn't even get under contract.
So, what do you think of some of the misconceptions or misunderstandings people have about crowdfunding?
That's a good question. Some of the misconceptions, I would think, they're unsure is new. A lot of it is just the educational component of it. They don't understand what crowdfunding is. They don't know what it is. So probably that's just the start. Some folks, they don't know how to invest. So that's where that educational component comes into. They're like, okay, we see these deals, but I don't know what to do with the deals on the site. There are a lot of different crowdfunding platforms out there. There are some for startups. There are some for real estate. There's some for companies. So there's a lot of different, crowdfunding sites out there. Some have done really well, some have not done really well, so a lot of it is just doing that. Some folks I know they've gotten burnt by investing through crowdfunding sites because they were expecting the crowdfunding portal or site to do the due diligence and it didn't happen, which is one of the reasons, or the deal never came to fruition. So Vesterr, we only take commercial real estate. We don't do residential and we don't do startups. For one, I don't really know how to understand a startup. If I do understand certain startups, but not our startups to be on the platform, if that makes sense. Like if it's something dealing with real estate, or if it's something that clicks, that makes sense. But if it's something that just doesn't make any sense to me, then I would go through, right? And so in my opinion, that was just too risky of having deals on the or startup deals. That's why I just focus more on commercial real estate. So that's why some folks, may not want to invest through crowdfunding because of the uncertainty of the deal and uncertainty of the platform. They may not know who the platform is. They may not trust it. A lot of it is just trusting the sponsor or the issuer and trusting the site itself.
So for someone getting into investing for the first time with crowdfunding, what advice would you give them?
Definitely do your research. That would probably be the biggest thing, right? Get to understand who the issuer is, do your research, because a lot of times with crowdfunding, you're investing in the deal. And then once you invest, now you're working with the issuer directly, right? So understanding who the issuer, who the sponsor is, if you have a financial advisor or legal team, make sure you consult with them to see if the deal makes sense. Do they have documents? The biggest thing is one of the benefits of investing through a crowdfunding site, it's required to have certain documents. Sometimes if you invest with someone and you don't really know and they don't have the proper documents and you don't know, then you're not protected, right? So definitely read the documents. Sometimes it's a subscription agreement. Sometimes it's a safe agreement. So a subscription agreement is basically you're subscribing. It's an exchange of equity. It's like a receipt pretty much, but it highlights a lot of the different risk and what's associated with that particular deal. Operating agreement, how will that company operate? So just do as much research as you can. A lot of times what people do, they do hire people to read over the documents. If the issuer has webinars or a podcast or any type of social, you do whatever you can to see, who this person is. Understanding their track record, with our crowdfunding site, we check their background, right? So we check to see, any bankruptcies or any fraud, but you still want to do your research. And that's probably the biggest thing for starting off.
No, that sounds very reassuring that there's a background check and there are a lot of compliance hurdles for a sponsor before they could put something up on the site. What's one of your biggest success stories so far with Vesterr?
Our first deal was AJA Investments. They acquired a Holiday Inn. I think it's like 120 room Holiday Inn, full service hotel in Lake Charles, Louisiana, and they converted into a Wyndham. It's a beautiful property. I was able to attend the investor retreat. So the majority of the investors were Black. I think like 97% of the investors were Black. The management company was Black owned. The hotel ownership group was Black owned. They were the first open deal of the BOLD program, which stands for Black Owners, Lodgings, and Developers. And the broker who had found the deal was a Black female. So that was a beautiful, beautiful deal, because years ago I set out where I wanted to increase the percentage of Black hotel owners. And so for that to be the first deal on the platform, it just all came into fruition, and just a full circle moment. So that was probably one of the best success stories. And actually seeing the property and the investors able to see the property, and their lives have been changed because of the deal.
I mean, that sounds amazing, right? To go from conceptualizing owning a hotel
Yeah.
and being able to invest in it, and then being able to go to physically be there and enjoy
Yeah.
it, and
Mm.
stake your claim as a hotel owner. That's very exciting. Well, now if someone's excited, what and they're considering their first investment, what's some of the first steps they could take with Vesterr?
First step is going to the website, signing up for a free account, so that way you can be added to our mailing list. We offer education, we offer webinars, so that, free webinars. So just really, immerse yourself in the education. And then another reason to get on the mailing list, so that way y'all can stay tuned for any upcoming deals. We have some deals on the site now. We'll have some more coming on now.
What's one piece of advice you wish someone would have given you when you started your journey in creating Vesterr?
Oh, that's a good question. Nobody ever asked me that before. One piece of advice would be to I am not a process person. I'm a true entrepreneur. I'm like, woo, all over the place. I'm all that about that gray area. And when you're dealing with regulators, they are not. It is very black and white. And so I just wished I probably would have been a little bit prepared, more prepared for dealing with the black and white, and dealing with a lot of the compliance. That was a lot for me to go through, but I'm going through it. I'm pitching through it. I'm figuring it out. So it's different from, I was applying the same principles of buying a hotel to, and building my personal branding platform with Vesterr, and it was a little different. So I guess the advice would have been, this is a different beast, learn tech more, understand tech more, and the compliance piece. The compliance piece was a little bit more challenging than the tech piece, but yeah, that would be the things that I would have wish somebody would have pulled me to the side to tell me.
So, with that being said, what's next for you, Vesterr? Do you have any exciting new developments on the horizon?
Mm, Not new developments, more deals. So make sure y'all check it out. I think, Ramel, you may know some of the deals that's on there. So it's definitely some more deals on the platform on Vesterr. Make sure you go vesterr.com. Make sure you get on our mailing list. We just closed on our second deal. It was a car wash investment opportunity. So we just funded that project. And now we have some more. So definitely stay tuned, get on our mailing list, and looking forward to connecting investors to issuers. I'm a connector, so I figured I'd just make a whole profession out of it.
I mean, that's great, bringing investors together with sponsors, and allowing people to, generate some passive income, and create the financial freedom that they seek. Um, I mean, I want to thank you for your time.
Yeah,
I know you're busy, and
I'm
you're
never
out
too
there
busy
doing
for
great
you.
things. Yeah. And just so if people want to learn more about Vesterr or more about you, could you just give us like some of your handles and uh, websites that they can go to?
Absolutely. I'm pretty much on all social media platforms except for Snapchat. I don't do Snapchat, but I am on Instagram. My name, Davonne Reaves. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on LinkedIn. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on YouTube, the Vine Group, Vesterr, Vesterr.com. And make sure you follow us on social media and get on our mailing list.
Well, thanks again for showing up and teaching us about Vesterr and crowdfunding and investing in hotels. And I hope everyone received that piece of information and put this in their tool belt to help them achieve their economic empowerment on the road to their financial freedom.
Oh.